Everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to talk about the virtuous woman. The Bible talks about the virtuous woman in Proverbs 31. So who is a virtuous woman? A virtuous woman, in Proverbs 31, they say that who can find a virtuous woman, for her price is far above rubies. And they say that her price is far above rubies. They mean that she is priceless. As a woman, she is priceless. If we put it in our day-to-day life, you cannot trade her with anything. You cannot trade her with material things. I mean, her price is far above rubies. It continues to say that the heart of her husband does safely trust in her, so that he shall have no need of spoil. Those days in the Bible, those days when men went to raid and all that, they would come back they would root and come back with spoil. Spoil are those things that they've gotten from the fightings, from all that. So a virtuous woman makes her husband not to need the spoil. So when the men would leave the fightings, they wouldn't even need the spoil, because the woman is hardworking. So a virtuous woman is hardworking and gives a certain percentage of provision to the family. I am not saying that men should be reluctant, because when they say that the heart of her husband trusts in her, that he shall do what? He shall have no need of spoil. They mean to say that the man also goes out. They have gone to raid, they have gone to fight. The man also goes out, but the woman also does something. So that is the virtuous woman. Another thing they talk about her, they say that she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Meaning she is trustworthy. When they speak about the husband, they speak good about them. You understand? So this is also a lesson for us to learn as women. Do we speak up good about our husbands as wives? Do we speak good about our husbands? Because the Bible is saying that she will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. Because when you sit down and think, there are things that you know that this I have done but it's bad, this I have done but it's good. So the virtuous woman does the man good and not evil all the days of her life. What else does she do? She seeketh wool and flax and works willingly with her hands. The virtuous woman works willingly with her hands. Just like I have said that she provides for the family, so she will think as a person. She will not be dependent on the husband as a person. Many times as women, we have that tendency of relying on our husbands. We think that they are the sole source of everything, but this preacher of God sometimes also doesn't know what to do in certain situations. Actually, God just helps him out, just like God can help you. So the only person that you need to depend on as a woman is God. Solely depend on God as a woman, and just be like this virtuous woman. She seeketh wool and flax and worketh willingly with her hands. One time I heard a certain woman say that there is a certain woman that you cannot chase out of the house. How can you chase a woman who bought land of the house that you're building, who is providing meals every day? Of course, you'll be a little bit hesitant. How will you start that? Mama Gumufuma, I think she's the owner of the land. The title is maybe in both of your names, but she provided to buy the land, or maybe, anything like that. So you have to add value to yourself. She seeketh wool. Another thing she does is she's like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. Still connecting to the other thing that she seeketh wool. She rises also while it is yet at night, and gives meat to her household and a portion to her maidens. She has maidens in the house. She rises early, meaning she's hardworking in the home. She takes care of the home. That is the beauty of the virtuous woman. She takes care of the home. She's hardworking in the home. Another thing that she does is she considers a field and buys it. With the fruit of her hands, she plants a vineyard. How many times have we wasted our money as women? It's good to buy those fancy bags, those classy bags, those nice clothes, but have you thought about land, or you think that property should only be owned by name? My dear, as per the laws of Uganda, even a woman can own land. They do not talk about gender in ownership. So as a woman, you ought to also have property. If you have the capability to buy land, please buy that land. You never know how it's going to help you. Land, property, and all that. Buy property, invest as a woman, because this lady considers a field and buys it, the virtuous woman in the Bible. Another thing she does is she guards her lions with strength and strengthens her arms, meaning she's not intimidated. There are many storms that happen in our families as women, but for her, she guardeth her hands with strength. She is strong as a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman is strong. A virtuous woman fears nothing. A virtuous woman is not easily intimidated. When a virtuous woman is left by the husband rejects her or deserts her and deserts the children, the virtuous woman stands and cares for the children. Are you a virtuous woman? Because if you're not a virtuous woman, I don't know what to call you. So you ought to guard yourself with strength. Hope for the worst and the best. Hope for the least and hope for anything. Expect anything to happen as a virtuous woman, and if it happens, it will find you very strong and rooted. Another thing that she does is she perceives that her merchandise is good. Her candle goes not out by night. She lays her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. When they say that she perceives that her merchandise is good, leave alone only her merchandise. How many times as a woman has your husband gone to buy land and you care to nowhere? If at all he has given you a leeway, sometimes you be like, those things are for men. My dear, are you for real? Or you go to inspect land, that you go to buy land with your money and you don't inspect the land. You just pay for. There are many cases in court now actually. As I speak now, there is someone that is making a land deal that will happen to be a case in land tomorrow or 2 years or 5 years to come, just because they did not do due diligence. They did not perceive that their merchandise is good. They did not ask the local authorities. For them, when the person came and said that this is my land, I'm selling it, they just gave in 10 million, 20 million. So a virtuous woman perceives that her merchandise is good. She does not just take things for granted. That is a virtuous woman. Another thing she does is that she stretches. We've talked about stretching. She's not afraid of the snow, and her household. For all her household are clothed with scarlet. She makes herself coverings of tapestry. Her clothing are silk and purple. Oh my, this lady is classy. This lady dresses up well. Woman, how do you dress? Or you just do for? You just do for? Her clothing are in tapestry and purple silk. So we should copy from her. I should copy from her. She's dope. Another thing is that her husband is known in the gates when he sits among the elders of the land. She makes fine linen and sells it, and delivers girdles unto the merchant. I want to show you this thing of her husband is known in the gates, and he sits among the elders of men as a woman, because they say that behind every successful man there is a woman. You understand? As a woman, you ought to be a pusher. You ought to be an advisor. We know that sometimes those men are strong creatures. They are very tough. they seem to be very tough, but your voice also matters as a woman. It's not that you're supposed to do other obligations as a woman, but also that one of speaking in your husband's life. If you know that there is something you need to advise him. Pray for him. You understand? So a virtuous woman, her husband is known in the gates. You understand? Then strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in the time to come. She opens her mouth with wisdom, and in her tongue is the law of kindness. She looks well to the ways of her household, and eats not the bread of idleness. A virtuous woman is not only a married woman, but a virtuous woman can also be a girl under 16, a girl under 18, a girl, as long as you have grown, you are a virtuous woman. A virtuous woman does not eat bread of idleness. Eating bread of idleness, I understand it as being lazy. As a woman, are you lazy? Do you wait for men to give you, or do you work for yourself as a woman? Do you wait for bread of idleness? Because it will never come. It will come today, they buy you a car. It will come tomorrow, they buy you a dress. It will come the other day, they pay for you rent. But my dear, within 3 years, it will be normal. But if you worked for yourself and you did not eat bread of idleness, you worked, you bought your land, it will be there, because land it is something that does not depreciate, so it will be there. Your land will be there. It will be there. So do not dare eat bread of idleness. Whatever you eat, know I have worked for it, and in the right ways. So what else does she do? Her children wake up and call her blessed. Her husband also, and he praises her. And this thing of her children wake up and call her blessed, and her husband also praises her. My dear ones, I have ever seen it. You know this pastor called Apostle John Bunjo. I'm a Christian. Apostle John Bunjo from Uganda. One day he knelt down. There was people, everyone was in church. He knelt down. He was like, I thank God for this woman. I thank my wife. I thank God for my wife. What is who doesn't want that? For their husband to speak in public and call them blessed. We call them blessed. The man knelt down. He's a responsible man, meaning that woman has done a lot. That woman has done really lots of things. Dr. Sarah Bunju, if you know her. And it's evident, no one can deny she has done a lot. The husband knelt down and said, I thank God. So a virtuous woman is like that. That woman is an example of a virtuous woman. And if you can follow her, she's a virtuous woman. Then another thing is, favor is, many are her daughters. Many daughters have done virtuously, but you excel them all. Favor is deceitful and beauty is in vain, but a woman that fears the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates. So, are you a virtuous woman, my friend? Are you a virtuous woman? Or do you want to take the attributes of that virtuous woman? Every lady would like to be that Proverbs 31 woman. I mean, she is a very good woman. If at all we took a half of her, we could be good. But who doesn't want the whole of her, the Proverbs 31 woman? Who doesn't want to dress in silk and purple? Who doesn't want to be rich? Who doesn't want to take care of the family? Who doesn't want to be hardworking? Who doesn't want their sons and daughters to tell them one day that you woman, you're blessed?